kept with the program and I showed up with class. Showed me the needy and dang the oppressed. First help the gospel of pain you've been teaching. There's silence and soulless, but empathy's breathing. They all grew up, passed down all this grieving, receiving the love, but none what they needed. Kids all right, they lock up, they got keys, and they're pushing you out, all lawmakers in season.
I grew up in Michigan. I grew up just outside of Ann Arbor. And music was kind of always in my household. My mom played guitar and would sing children's songs to us when we were kids. And then when I was in second grade, I discovered the violin. I had a friend come in to play the violin for show and tell day. And I went home that day from school and said, "Mom, I want to play the violin." And then it was about a year-long journey after that of my parents figuring out whether or not this was a passing phase or if it was real, and it was very real. I had had exposure to other instruments before that, piano, even flute lessons. I wanted nothing to do with it. I wanted to play the violin, and I was not going to stop until I did. So by third grade, my parents found a teacher for me, got me lessons, and it's kind of been my instrument ever since. I really think the reason why the violin has never left me, one, I think there's a special bond. I don't know what it is, but sometimes instruments just take your heart and then that's it. It's game over. But also I really think that I had amazing teachers growing up. I think my parents were great with it, and I had a teacher who was amazing. They never put the pressure on me for it to be the only thing. They let me keep exploring. They let me find my own relationship with it. They let me sometimes go for weeks without practicing, and I didn't get in trouble. It was just like, okay, well, you didn't practice this week, so here we go. And I think having that kind of support and having someone just foster the love of music and the love of creativity and the love of that instrument without the pressure of it is the reason why it never left me. And then when I got to college, I kind of made it my own, found my own relationship with it, found fiddle music, kind of got out of the classical world and got into more of the folk side of everything. But yeah, I really think that my teacher, my private lesson teacher growing up is a huge reason why it's just always been a part of me.
I have a similar story than the Meredith has of a musical family. My grandmother was a church organist, and my mother was a part-time church organist for a little bit. And my sister plays, and my brother used to play music early on in their lives, and so our entire family has been musical. I think I was just kind of the one that stuck it out the longest. I have been blessed with kind of being strong-headed and always kind of just having a internal drive of just doing what I want to do. And so music has just kind of always had this triggered something in my head that I wanted to keep doing. So there was really never a reason other than that's just what I wanted to do. So I grew up playing a lot of classical music like a lot of kids do, and a lot of times you're learning what other people have written and you're performing, but you're not really creating. And I think everything changed for me when I went from not just performing but also creating and starting to write my own poetry, trying to write my own music and my own lyrics and my own chord progressions and creating my own creative path. That really changed just the longevity of what I was doing and why I wanted to do it and what value I saw in it. And it became an outlet for myself, and it became an outlet for others to watch and to breed community through, and it just kept growing and growing. But really the artistic side of it, of writing your own creative music and creative path, really it was the big changing moment, and that was in college.
church for a lonely night, but tonight, no more lies, no more running. Ten years from now, if us pull on this chain, all kinds of messed stuff from the left and right brain. Never again we'll see hate amplified like this moment right here, like this moment in time.
Meredith had an internship at the Smithsonian
Yeah.
in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, the summer after I graduated from college, I made it out to DC. It was my backup plan. And I met Adrian out there week one, and all of a sudden my internship at the Smithsonian held less weight, we'll say. I met Adrian at an open mic. And then we just, I don't know, then the rest is sort of history. I mean, we met, we hung out for a while. We weren't sure. On the romantic side, I think we danced around each other for a minute. But when I met him, Adrian had already had plans to move to Nashville. He was already coming here, visiting a bunch. That was already kind of laid. So it was in neither of our plans to meet someone real at that time. I was supposed to just be a contained summer situation. But then all of a sudden, Adrian started booking tours to Michigan, and kept showing up.
I cannot be contained. I cannot be contained.
Yeah, no, he's very persistent. He kept showing up in Michigan. So we did long distance for 2 years, Michigan to Nashville, and then I moved down here and we got engaged. It's after that we started the band. We dated for about 2 years before I really was like, okay, I'll do this music thing with you.
East Tennessee, North Ohio, Florida, Mississippi ain't got nothing to do but wait around for me. Don't tread on me, I ain't nothing but gossip. Keep your bottle rocket out of my back pocket. Honesty ain't an insurance policy. Ain't got keys or nothing, I wanna wait around till you try some. Ain't got pills or nothing, I wanna wait around till you find some.
Truth is, life is going swell.
Just put it all on someone else.
Get it, gotta let it go. Get it, gotta let it go. Get it, y'all know me. I live down the street, I ain't making a scene, but you's kind of a creep, 'cause 17 ain't 18, you see. Ain't we quite the three? Been watching her, I've been watching you, she been watching me. I got the signal to say something, you see. Ain't got kids or nothing, wanna wait around till you try some.
Ain't got pills or nothing, wanna wait around till you find some. Truth is, life is going swell. So put that all on someone else.
Get it, gotta let it go. Get it, gotta let it go.
and I was working. I was working in the nonprofit world, working for the Lansing Symphony Orchestra, doing education outreach programming, and that was the plan. I mean, that was supposed to be the plan. But
music was going to be more of a hobby,
yeah.
and being in the arts community and the industry side was going to be your main plan.
But Adrian basically was like, no, you're made for the stage. Let's do this thing. So, and it took, it takes a lot of confidence building. It's one thing to love music and to play music, but to become a performer takes a lot of inner confidence because you're putting your soul out there on a stage. So I think that in a lot of ways, Adrian gave me that confidence, gave me that encouragement, gave me that push that I needed to say, come on, you can do this. You were made to do this.
I think we were really blessed with a 2019 that satisfied a lot of what we tried to accomplish from the very beginning with being musicians, which is growing our sense of community and outreaching to places and people that we would generally have no communication with outside of the music giving us that venue to work in, and we were working musicians. We just want to be working musicians. We love being the middle class musician, and we just wanted that to continue. So we left on a high note before COVID, and we just want to go get back to work. Really.
Yeah. I think for us, we want to keep making art, and it's music is such a complicated industry once you really get into the business side of it. I mean, here we are running a band, which means we're really small business owners. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. We're trying to make art and art first, which isn't always the most profitable way to go. But we feel fortunate that, again, the balance in our life is that we can do that. I think we always joke that we want to go for the Lifetime Achievement Award. The point is to just keep doing it. There really isn't an end goal. I just want to be old. I want to be 80 years old and still playing fiddle. You know what I mean?
I want to be Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
Let's be Willie Nelson.
Let's be Willie Nelson. I mean, if there's a bucket list in front of you, then it sort of defeats the point. So I think for us, it's to just keep loving what we do and to keep finding joy in it, because there are days where it is work. There is no doubt. I mean, you are tired, you're on the road, you got to load into a show. Maybe it's not a great show, or maybe you're just totally wiped, whatever it is. There are moments you're clocking in and clocking out. It's not all rock star life all the time.
You got to love it.
But
you got to love it.
Those are sometimes the nights that bring you the most joy, too.
Get it. She's just clueless, ruthless, new to this.
And I've heard careless, but she wears it so well.
Marquee should say, abusive, use up too much better.
Makes one prudent pioneer. Don't it just? Ain't got keys and nothing, no one way to rain till you try some. Ain't got pills and nothing, no one way to rain till you find some. Truth is, life is golden, swear. Put it all on someone else.
Get it, gotta let it go. 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 Gotta let it go. Well, I hear you clucking, big chicken of the South. Every dog has his day, every dog has his house. a million ways to nowhere, but only for you that'll make you proud. There's a lesson in you somewhere like 3 strikes and you're out. But the great Professor Hubbard spoke of the night people crowd. This 80-hour week of the 83-cent round. This Americana dream, this open highway. I'd rather love the work I'm paid instead of any other handout. But this exclusive club, it's bad for business. Controversial vote, it's bad for business. It's honor code, it's bad for business, we all know.
I feel like this record that we are about to release was about 6 months to 3 months ahead of its time when we finished it. We finished it right before COVID started, and it really feels like a COVID record because it hit on a lot of the topics that we have. This felt like a spring cleaning year for society. We kind of went after topics that have been kind of focused on for hundreds of years, and we just wanted to take this time and refocus and try to say, okay, if we're going to spend 12 months of our lives sitting at home, let's at least make it a better world when we come back. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the record kind of brings a lot of those topics to mind. And so we already had a record that very much felt like it was a reflective of the times that COVID gave us. And we just kind of struck gold that it was written right before COVID started. So we were in the right mindset the whole time. But now it feels like these songs are going to really hit hard because I think everybody in the audience is going to know exactly what we mean when we're talking about it. Yeah. It's not just a musician's world to think of empathy anymore. I think empathy is having a high moment right now in the world. I think thinking of others is having a strong moment. And so I think these messages will be delivered not easily, but they'll be delivered with, people will understand what we're trying to say, I think. I think Bad for Business is, it's the title track to the record that's coming out, and it's just the most succinct way of describing how we're feeling, and it was designed to be a message that everyone can understand and agree with. There are messages like that everyone can agree with, and that's what it's trying to be, and that's what it is that sometimes the only thing you can agree on is that arguing is not a great idea. Yeah. And let's start there at least, and then we can work on what we do agree with. But a call to arms where everybody actually feels like they're being heard is really what that song's about. COVID set us back, so we want to be able to really go back into it with guns blazing, and we want to feel like the time we took off over the last year has kind of got us refocused and reprioritized, and so we're gonna come back stronger, and we have plans for the rest of this year. But what Meredith said about long-term goals, I think we always are gonna balance ourselves in a way that we're gonna continue, because the long-term goal is just to continue doing it. Yeah. We want to do it forever. So.
I'm not talking L. Ron Hubbard, that guy's a crazy wacko, but Ray Wiley Hubbard, owner of all the Texas Shadows. Cause when there's a shift in your blood like some wacky tobacco, when you overthrow the mud, take a chance on a hello, but this is Blues Sound Club. It's bad for business, controversial vote. It's bad for business, it's honor code. It's bad for business, we all know. But there's this Blues Sound Club. This song that we wrote, probably bad for business. A lot of whiteness in this witness, like every other Christmas in Mexico. No, ding dong, wicked witch, he is dead. Yeah, and no. red chicken of the South. And every dog has his day, every dog has his house. There's a million ways to nowhere, but only a few that'll make you proud. So let's meet me somewhere like 3 strikes and you're out. It's hard to play last on that one. I'm gonna take out and do I gotta write a part for this one.
Put your nose in it.
You just need to say
we're Adrian and
You
Meredith.
just be like, hey, we're Adrian plus Meredith, and then I'll say Meredith, and then you just say, hey, we're Adrian plus, and then I'll say Meredith.
Say you're Adrian
Hey,
of Adrian and Meredith.
Hey, I'm Adrian.
Plus Meredith.
Yeah. Cool.
Stretching to the sky, bring a tear in my eye as the green treetops come in the view. If you don't wait for too long, singing all the songs, putting in the work, let us do. I'm a tall old tree, the wrong was to me, can be saved from the storm.